Box office top 10 then. At 15, The Beast.
Well, it was weird because when we reviewed Eric, I said, and we did these two in the same week, I said, Eric, like The Beast, shouldn't work. And the fact that it does tells you a lot about the way in which it's written, the way in which it's played, the way in which it's directed. I thought The Beast was terrific, and I've spoken to a few people now who have had a very similar experience to mine, that you sit at the beginning thinking, there's no way that this is going to work. And yet at the end of the 2.5 hours, you're absolutely emotionally involved in it. Lea Seydoux, gorgeous George Mackay. I think it defies description, but I absolutely loved it.
Abigail on this email. Mark and Simon, short-term listener following your radio pursuits for just under a year before you created this podcast. First-time emailer, incredible film. Now I know the language of this film will not appeal to many, but as soon as I watched it, I just felt I understood. The purposeful repetition of dread, relationships, dolls, hands, psychics, and imagined endings was mesmerising. I'm conscious I don't want to say too much about the film, lest I spoil it for those who have not been lucky enough to see it yet. Up with salted popcorn and down with rude moviegoers. I'm afraid salted popcorn, any kind of popcorn, is a bad idea, in my opinion, but I agree about the rude moviegoers. So that's The Beast at 15.
Yes, can I just say, you'd find it pretty hard to spoil The Beast. I mean, even when you're trying to explain it, it's very hard to spoil that film.
New entry at number 13, Young Woman and the Sea.
Daisy Ridley swims the English Channel, based on a true story. They take huge liberties with the true story, but, it's a Jerry Bruckheimer drama, and it does what it says on the tin. And Stephen Graham is having the time of his life.
And that's at number 14 in America. Number 10 here is Challengers.
Sexy Tennis, my favourite Luca Guadagnino film. Which is a fairly small field, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good fun.
Number 9 here, 6 in the States, The Strangers, Chapter 1.
Yeah, they didn't show it to the press, and it looks like it's going to be out of the charts next week, so I think that speaks for itself. But hey, maybe Chapter 2 will be, something that they're desperate for us to see.
Sting is at number 8.
I really enjoyed Sting. It's a spiders from outer space horror movie. It's alien in an apartment with creepy crawlies. It stars Elida Brown, who was so fantastic in Furiosa, which we'll come to in a little while. I mean, it's got a lot of throwback charm, and there's another sort of slightly spoofy horror film out this week. All I can tell you is Sting gets right everything that the other spoofy horror movie gets wrong.
So Sting's at number 8. Number 7 here, number 7 in the States is Haiku, The Dumpster Battle.
This is a Japanese animated sports film based on a manga series and a direct sequel to an anime television series, none of which I have seen, but I believe we have an email.
Well, a brief, more of a text, really, or a WhatsApp. Mad King J. Hello, Mad King. It's great fun, amazing voice acting, and despite being behind in the show, it explained everything and the stakes involved. Can't wait to see how the rest of the series plays out. So I guess if you're into it, then you know, and if you don't, then you don't. Haiku, The Dumpster Battle, is at number 7. Number 6, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
20th anniversary, which makes me feel like the oldest human being on Earth. What's your favourite Potter film?
And Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Not only that's my favourite of the Harry Potter books, which it's just a fantastic book and a great movie.
It's the correct answer.
Oh, good. Okay. I was puzzled to see Gary Oldman wasn't happy with his performance in that film.
I didn't know that.
And
where did you see that?
And it said so publicly. I read it this week. Anyway, I find that strange because I thought it was fantastic. Anyway, The Fall Guys at number 5, hanging on in there.
Yes, and again on the news this morning, they were talking about why is The Fall Guy underperformed? Why is Furiosa underperformed? Why is everything underperforming? Why is it the end of the world? Why is cinema collapsing? Why? I like The Fall Guy. Thought it was great fun. I don't actually care whether or not anyone remembers the IP from the original TV series. I mean, I'd forgotten about it. I still thought the film was really good, popcorn fun.
I saw a very interesting made-up graph on one of the social media things that's knocking around, which basically the argument was since David Bowie's died, everything has turned to poo. And there's like a little graph. There's a line that comes in horizontally, and then it marks the point David Bowie dies, and then a steep decline in everything. So that is the reason why it's all gone to muck. Anyway, okay, so Fall Guys at number 5. Number 4 is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, underperforming. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, everything has been soft. This is, it's like a boiled egg. Everything has been soft, and it's the sort of, it's the softest something weekend since the last soft weekend they had. And, everyone's having a complete conniption about it. I know cinemas are having a hard time. I do think we're kind of overthinking this. The sun's been out. I always remember that thing, Danny Boyle's Sunshine was destroyed by the sunshine. It had a terrible opening weekend because the sun came out and everyone went, let's go to the beach. I don't know why, but I don't think it's like, we're making the wrong films and doing the wrong things. It's just, we're in a hard patch for cinemas.
So Furiosa is at number 4. Number 3 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes,
which has done very well, despite the fact it has a very slow first hour, although Child 2 said to me, you don't know what you're talking about because the slow first hour is what makes the second hour work because it's the world building. And I'm increasingly inclined to believe that my children know more about things than I do.
2 films that are not underperforming, I would have thought. Garfield is at number 2 and If is at number 1. I mean, who would have thought it?
Well, I have 2 words, which is half term. So the Garfield movie is it sucks really, but it's a family friendly movie. If has got some interesting ideas, but doesn't really work. But both of those have done well because the half-term weekend, people have been looking for stuff to do, and anyone can go along and see them. I mean, it is a perfect example of how it's circumstantial. If you'd taken those movies at any other time, we wouldn't be in this position in which they are number 1 and number 2 with Planet of the Apes. But that's what it is. It was half-term.